Hi everyone, Jenny with On Fire Fit, and welcome to day 2 of week 3 of our battle plan. Today we are continuing on in our talk over strongholds and giants, and the verse that you may be familiar with that comes up frequently enough is, "The thief comes only to steal and destroy. I have come that they may have life and have it to the full." Another version says, to have an abundant life. And this is where I feel like a lot of times we get tripped up. We are used to the concept of grace saving us for heaven, but we oftentimes neglect the fact that Jesus came to give us an abundant life now and not just get to heaven. And I think it's interesting that Satan fights that so much, because it's pretty unlikely that he's going to change our mind and get us to reject Jesus if we've already decided that he is our Savior. It doesn't happen frequently, but he can work on holding you down so that you are not effective and you really don't have a life that anybody else would be interested in finding out more about, or where does that joy come from. And so his ulterior and main motive, I should say, is to steal and destroy anything that God has planned. So we really need to be aware of that, because otherwise we get caught in this trap of just sort of getting by. I love reading various devotionals. One of the ones that a lot of people are very familiar with is one called Jesus Calling. I used to read it a lot. I don't read it quite as much anymore, but this one really got me to connect to what I'm talking about today. So I'm going to read it to you, but it is in the download that I have included in the description box below, so you can print that off if you would like. This is the author, Sarah Young. She is speaking as if she were God, which I know some people have an issue with that, but I believe that the way that she writes is just another way of rephrasing what God's intent is in his word, and maybe helps people understand it a little bit better. So here she says from Psalm 63 in her own words, "The world abounds with idols, things you turn to when you want to feel better about yourself: eating, entertainment, exercise, mastery of something or someone. However, none of these can slake the thirst of your soul, which yearns for me alone. Idolatrous substitutes may suppress your appetite for me, mainly by distracting you, but they provide no satisfaction. When you get that gnawing sensation around the edges of your soul, return to me. Your soul will be satisfied as with the richest of foods." I love the fact that we can turn to God to meet every one of our needs, and that he is ultimately the one that is going to lead us towards the path of abundant life. I want you to consider what your stronghold or your giant is doing to suck the life out of you, because it doesn't need to be that way, and it doesn't need to be we don't need to be in a position of being under his thumb. So I pray that as you battle the giant and you go through these Bible verses that I have written about here, that you'll really start to plan, resolve, anticipate, and yearn for God. These things that we talk about just help kind of get you nudged in a different direction. They are certainly not telling you that this is the only way to do it, but I have found that when I have a focus, when I have a way of looking at things differently, sometimes that's when I notice changes come about. So writing through these exercises is really going to help open your mind, I pray. And I hope that you have a wonderful rest of your day, and I'll see you tomorrow. Go live on fire.